Get a beer first off.
Yeah. Ollie.
That'd be nice, actually.
Yeah, throw a few COVIDs in your diet.
Some Coronas.
Yeah, some COVIDs in your diet, dude.
COVID.
Some COVID extras.
Bit of liquid courage, Stacky boy. Get that in.
No, I don't need this.
You don't need something to look like that.
You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
Hold in.
we're live right now, huh?
We are
Yeah.
live. We're live on
Okay.
YouTube.
Well, in this YouTube's casting to Facebook and everything, huh?
It's gonna try to.
Sick.
Just 5 of us on here.
Until everybody else kicks on. Will you get that out of frame? Put that out of frame, Mitch. Thank you.
Mitchie.
Dude, how about you send that back, all right? Send that code back.
Yeah.
Is that a little?
Do you have a free jack shirt?
You're fine.
I'm asking my girlfriend if her stepdad has a free jack shirt.
No,
I'll be fine. I'm okay.
We would actually prefer just to black your screen out because no one wants to see your face either. But just take your
That's
voice.
actually a good idea. And then I'll mute myself, and then I won't be here.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
God. Speaking of mute yourself.
Jeez, look who's just joined.
Wow.
Oh Lord.
I'm
His
going
hair's
home.
getting too. Oh, there he is.
I'm going home.
You need to
Hello.
unmute yourself there, horse. He's talking. He can't be here.
Yeah, because he's too busy. Wait, count how many times he'll touch his hair during this. There you go. There it goes.
Hey, I think we should add that to the list, Zach.
Yeah.
Oh, every time Josh Larson touches his hair, you have to have a sip.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Lad, unmute yourself, Joshy.
TK, where do we get this background from, mate?
I was wondering how this works.
Yeah.
I can
There we
afford it.
go.
Yeah, it's better. I said it's quarantine flow, mate. Just
Yeah.
gotta let it go.
Hey, Josh, I feel you.
Yeah,
Jeez.
see, Missy, you're on the right track, mate.
I even chucked in a little
It's your
mullet at
time
the
to
start of
fix the hair,
quarantine.
guys.
It's like grown out.
I saw that and I appreciate it.
Yeah, I was trying to copy you, Zach.
Nice. Well, anyways, we're live on YouTube, so
We are live on YouTube.
nice. Shall we get rolling, or we want to wait a little bit more?
Oliver
Oh,
Twist.
there we go. We got Eric. Hello. Joining audio.
Quentin Newcomer, fan favorite. Welcome aboard, mate.
You.
You need to unmute yourself, Big Rig.
Oh, there we go. Stevie
Stevie?
boy. What's up, lads? How are you, Tammy?
Hello. How are you?
Good to see you.
Yes, you too.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, look at
There we
that,
go.
All
Joe.
right, Skip.
Joshy boy, let's go the extra mile.
Damn, look at this. It's awesome.
Levy, Q,
Joshy,
you're up.
good boys.
Oh, yeah.
Get it in ya.
I might grab a glass of rouge then.
As you should. It is a fiesta after all. Oh God, who ruins the party?
Welcome,
Good
Connor.
Kinder bite?
How's it going? Motherfucker.
Kinder. There he is, big lad.
Right now we have a 7 squad live on YouTube. Who else is joining?
Dig it.
We've got a
Quick.
7 squad right here.
Quentin, you got your new shoes on, dude? Unmute yourself before you talk turd.
God, dude.
Oh, good.
This might be a lesson in not only broadcasting this draft, but also on mute and unmute and can you hear me? Also drink if you say, can you hear me? Every time someone says that.
Ooh. Touche.
I like where your head's at.
How good is that seeing the attendees flooding in? Shout out to the Hinshaws, Mr. and Mrs. Hinshaw, big Free Jacks fans. Welcome, welcome in.
Yes.
Nice.
Love it.
Can you get more people on it? Yeah, no, but can I get more people on it?
How do we get that cool background, Josh?
Who needs the background? We'll send it to everybody.
Yeah.
You send it to everyone?
Kenner, you just need a full blue screen. Get that mug off that. What do you got going with that beard?
Nest and birds, baby. Nest and birds, baby.
Free Jacks party.
What's good? Oh, Mitchie, you're awfully quiet, bud. What's good?
See it off, Ollie. See it off.
Yeah, just
Gregory,
keep
what's
myself
happening?
muted over here.
There you go.
Rhode Island, welcome.
Skip, is that a wee glass of red, is it?
And then we have back filling in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
said, mate.
There's a lot of people. Come on.
Appreciate that.
Let's take a picture of this.
Lads, this may be the jump this year when we get back to it. The Staycationland.
No, this is
All right.
rec league.
Oh, yeah.
Gregory Owens watching all the NRL you can get. Good man. Hopefully you got to catch the Highlanders getting up over the Chiefs last night. We drop it the deal the deal.
Wow. Did you see what Gatlin said about his kid?
I did, mate. I did see that.
I dig that, though. Appreciate it. We lost. Don't care. Good for him. It's his mother's son. He didn't say that, but I'm sure he was thinking it. Shall we get spinning on our welcomes?
Let's kick it off.
Let's do it.
On the way.
Yeah, that'd be great, Zach.
All right. Tim, you want to kick us off?
Yes, let's go.
All right, guys. First and foremost, if you're on the call, you're watching YouTube, on Facebook, wherever you're at, A, thank you. B, this is a party. So with that, let's have a sip. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Zach Striffler, current member of the New England Free Jacks. Played last year, and unfortunately for you guys, I am going to be hopefully not front and center, but hopefully to the side and helping out and assisting Tammy. But we're going to be kind of walking you through this process. We'll be calling on a few people to kind of get their perspective on the draft, what their thoughts about it, and you also have a few members of the team that are going to be on the call with us as well. So, if you have any questions or anything, throw it in the chat. You can ask specifics from any of the hosts or the panelists, and then we've got people that could assist in getting those questions answered and getting your thoughts heard. So without further ado, let's get the star of the show, Miss McQueen.
I don't know about that, Zach. I've got a lot to follow here, but thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be here tonight on the East Coast in Boston. But if you are with some of our boys in New Zealand, Australia, or in Fiji, good morning. We're so glad you woke up early for this. We're super pumped. We hope you have a mimosa or a beer with you. We have our Baxter Staycationland. We're all at home. So we're excited for tonight. It's going to be a fun one. As Zach said, we are joined by some of the guys tonight. Please feel free to drop in some questions. We want to make this as engaging as possible. It's all access. If you are on the Zoom, you have access to us. Ask questions, let us know what you're thinking. And also, if you're watching on YouTube, drop us some questions on social as well. And I know Zach and I have a fun night ahead.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have our hands full.
Right.
That without a doubt.
Absolutely. So firstly, before we get kicked off, I want to thank our sponsors, Staycationland by Baxter Brewing, sponsor of the virtual draft party. So thank you so much. These are ice cold. It is sweltering. So this is a great reprise from tonight. And then also this morning to get us kicked off, powered by Kings Row Coffee. So great spike with their coffee and absolutely love it. So get your hands on some of that. And we'll be sure to be fired up, powered, and ready to go all night long.
Right on. All right, Ollie, if you want to kick us in, I think we may have some words.
Some words? Some words. Let's go.
Some words.
Hello, Free Jacks everywhere. Welcome to our first ever collegiate draft. How cool is this? We have been scouring the country looking for top collegiate talent to see who will be the right fit here in New England. We have a unique and amazing culture and history, both in terms of rugby and everything else. And it's really important that we find a candidate who's really excited to be in New England and be a part of what we're all about. Obviously today we've been in the laboratory the last couple of weeks doing our ones and zeros and looking at all our data on these players and making stuff up just to find out more about these players. And so we're still in the lab, and it's a lab day, and we're going to continue that today and mix some potions up and hopefully get the right formula coming out of the draft. So hence, it's a day to be in the lab. So we're in the lab doing good. We're doing the lab doing good work. And you know what? Thankfully, I've got some help. Tom Kindly's been unbelievable. But he's on the other side of the coast right now, being safe during the virus time. And then, of course, my handy friends from Kings Row, the Nitro Cold Brew is actually amazing. And I'm a big fan of the maple infused one. So it helps you get through a day in the lab. You just pound a couple of these bad boys, not a lot of sugar, if no sugar. And it's nitro. Can you believe that? Nitro. So that'll help us throughout the draft day. And then, of course, tonight we'll be able to celebrate a bit after some victories with our Staycationland from Baxter. It's a tasty lager that I'm really fired up about. And it's just the whole concept of it, Staycationland, New England, someone enjoying a rest in the sun in their hammock. It just makes me very happy and reminds me of the Free Jacks. So certainly that and Free Jacks IPA to boot. So it's going to be a really fun day. There's a lot of ways you can approach this, a lot of different, tactics. I think for us, it's finding somebody that number one is going to be the right fit for us, New England, for our fans, for our current setup. We're not really going after a single position or anything else like that. We understand that there's a fairly big jump from the college game to professional rugby that is chock full of quality internationals, and it's a really good league, and it's a fun league. It's a fast league. So there's some physical standards that need a change, and so we assume whoever we draft, there's probably going to be a 6 to 24 month evolution that needs to continue for them to really be a stalwart in that starting group. We're pushing for that starting group, so we're not necessarily going after a single position. Kind of trying to find the best athletes who are the best character and culture fit for what we're all about. Humble, hardworking, and willing to have fun and smile and laugh and really loves adversity and to get through adversity and to grow and is a grinder, and that's just so New England. That's so Free Jack. So that's what we're looking for. So it's not so much position specific. You can't talk very well with a mustache, just so you know. All my friends who have mustaches and grew up in the 70s, they're hard to talk with. But positionally, not so much. More future potential and on and off the field. And I can't thank you all enough for the support we've had since we kicked this thing off, more than a year ago now, starting with the Carrot Cup and then continuing to build into our first ever MLR season. We were on the road there for the first 5 weeks. And in every game against last year's top contenders, I think we felt like we should have taken a few more victories even from those games as we were learning. We scored the most tries in MLR in our first year here. And we were so excited to share and celebrate professional rugby with you for the first time on St. Paddy's weekend. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, but it was important that everybody stayed safe and we were able to get our players home and make sure they were taken care of. And the support since then has been and continues to be just unbelievable. So thank you, Free Jacks everywhere. You're amazing, and can't wait to continue to build this with you in the coming days and weeks once we can get together and celebrate and just be in each other's company again, and bring in more fans to our sport, and of course to the Free Jacks as we build into what will be a robust 2021 competition, which is actually quite exciting with 2 new teams coming on board that we're really excited to have. 2 warm weather teams, which helps our schedule out actually as well, and just really building into a fantastic match day festival experience in March, April, and May, and June next year. A lot of academy stuff that's been going on, and we've had more than 500 participants in our online academy over the last few weeks. Hat tip to Free Jack staff and coaches for getting that going so quickly during quarantine, and that's been really helpful to share the message of rugby and what it's all about with future fans. So thank you for hopping on that, coaches, players alike, and can't wait to share this evening with you. Thanks for joining. Cheers.
All right, guys, those are words from our New England Free Jack CEO, Alex Magleby. As you can tell, he was in the lab, right? A lot of work being done there. I couldn't imagine the task set in front, with all of the colleges and all the athletes that have put their hand up for a position and a spot on an MLR team. Like he was saying, there's only so many teams, and the task to go through the film and to really address what each team's going to need, it can't be an easy feat.
He has been in the books. He's been running through the woods. He has the noodle bags on all day. I mean, he has really been diving into the prospects this year. So I cannot wait to see what this brings.
Yeah, very excited. All right, guys. While we have you, and before the draft kicks off, this is very much a party, and this is very much a social sport, and we want to continue the social sport and the party in a responsible manner. And so we do have a bit of a game going on for this evening.
Yes, we do. Let's hear it, Zach.
So this game is going to include, we're going to drink, just have a sip, just a casual sip, nothing too much. We don't want to get carried away. Just a casual sip every time that we hear the word Boston. Every time we hear the word Boston, and I know this is going to be a bit of a challenge, and it's going to be a lot of fun just because we love giving this guy a hard time. Every time that you would see the gentleman with the Josh Larson on the bottom left of his screen, every time you see his hand touch to his hair, you're going to have a sip. Okay? Not much, just a little sip, bottom of a teacup sip, not a whole lot, but we just, yep, there you go. There's the one. Thank you for that.
All right. It's going to be a tough one. Don't take your eyes off old Captain over there.
It's hard to take my eyes off him anyways, but with this now, I'm just automatically glued to him. Tammy, I think we're doing a bit more interaction on the Q&A for the comment section. If you could, what do we got going on there?
So it looks like we have some questions coming in. It looks like we have quite a bit of fans coming here. I just want to give a quick shout out to the folks that have joined. We have Spider on. Some of you know Spider, been at all our events and gets dressed up in the revolutionary gear. We love it. Greetings from Central Massachusetts. Go Jacks. Everyone joining us. Long live any IPA. Go. Let's see. So we've got quite a few coming through, Rhode Island as well. So quite a few coming in. And then also we have a question that we can get to. Does the team have any specific goals that they are trying to achieve with the draft?
I just like Mags was mentioning, it seemed like he was looking for a person, right? Just looking more for the right person as opposed to position specific. So I mean, it all comes down to what the focus of the team. TK, could you help us out with that? Maybe give us a better thought.
Yeah, absolutely. So Tom Kindly, performance manager of the New England Free Jacks here, and thank you very much to our hosts Zach and Tammy for having us along today and doing such a great job hosting what is an awesome event going on. But yeah, I guess to touch on your point, and like you aptly said, the professor and the lab there, and he has had a few nitros. I can attest to that over the past few weeks. Plus, collegiate athletes to get through. So thank you so much to Staycationland, our sponsor, for hosting this event. I'm fired up. 400 plus collegiate athletes to get through over the past kind of 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. And well, there certainly have been some long nights with the professor, but he's ready to go with the draft. I'm going to be with you guys, and I can kind of tell you a little bit about that process throughout. And yeah, I think, Zach, to your point, humble, hardworking, and a willingness to learn was really what we were looking for, along with having, the tools to take it to the next level.
And also, I just want to say a huge shout out to Tom, really and truly, for leading so much in the draft process, and with the great help as well from James Willock. So thank you so much, TK. We really appreciate you, and he is our go-to guy here that'll give us some insight and intel on a lot of the conversations as well. So thank you so much for being here, and we really appreciate you. Also, just another one, Jack, I want to get back to this game. I believe when we get into the actual picks, when the Free Jacks make their pick, we're going to have a stand up, welcome the player, and take a chug. Finish the beer, right? Is that what you're thinking?
Oof. I mean, that's a tall order, but if you're up for it, I'm up for it. Also, Boston.
It also looks like we have a few folks from Connecticut, from everywhere. We also have a Roll Tide, which also sounds like Let's Ride. So I think we can bring those guys in too. What else we've got? We've also got a giveaway coming up. How about that? Zach, what you got on the giveaway?
We do. So like I mentioned, guys, we want to, those that are involved with us on the Zoom call, we want the first person who's going to guess the first pick of the draft, the New England Free Jacks first pick of the draft. If you guess correctly, we are going to be giving away a Free Jacks home jersey. Okay. Now, if you're lucky enough to make the second pick, to guess that one correctly, the second pick of the draft, we are going to give away a Free Jacks hat. Now, those hats are currency. Okay. Those are nice hats. I've always wanted one myself. Can't wait to get my hands on one next year.
Sell out every time.
Yeah. So guys, those that are participating, make sure, throw your guesses out there. Who do you think we're going to get? Like I said, if you guess the first pick correctly, the first one to guess that one correctly gets themselves a brand new home jersey. And if you guess the second one correctly, you're getting a Free Jacks hat. Nothing better than wearing team gear, guys, and representing the Free Jacks.
And speaking of team gear, we have a flash sale going on throughout the duration of the draft. So head over to freejacks.com and use the code FJDRAFT. That is FJ, also known as FJ Draft, for 20% off all merchandise, and get your hands on some perfect in-time shipping for Father's Day. Also some great summer gear. So head over. It's through the duration of the draft tonight.
Perfect. Boston. All right, guys, those are sitting at home, probably semi-aware of how a draft would work in terms of, because football is so big with it, baseball, all the big four sports. But what we have, guys, it's the first of its kind with the MLR. Excited to be a part of it, and we've got TK here who's got to give us a bit of an oversight and a bit of an idea of what we want to be looking for and how this draft is going to work. So, TK, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we've only got 8 minutes or so till we get underway, so it'll be relatively brief. But there are obviously 13 teams in the league next year, 12 of which are from the United States of America. We've got 2 expansion teams coming in, Dallas and LA, and they will have the first pick. They're entitled to the first and second pick in that respective order. Each team has 2 picks, so there will be 24 athletes that will be drafted tonight. There are certain stipulations that must be met, such as the athletes must have played at least 3 years of college rugby. They must be willing to move anywhere in America. And that's a good start at least anyway. So the order of selections will be an inverse order of where the teams finished up in this year's abbreviated season. So we only managed to play 5 rounds this season. So the team that finished last will have the first pick in their conference and vice versa. So as you can see there, that's what it looks like. You're also able to, you'll notice the via LA, via Houston, via New York going on there. You're also able to do little wee trades and trade things such as foreign spots and salary cap space in order to benefit your cause. So some teams have been quite conniving in that sort of realm. And obviously we've got picks number 6 and 18 tonight. So Alex Magleby is in his, he's in the office there. He's probably sipping on a maple nitro right now. And he's got all the notes, the data in front of him, and he's ready to go. He's got it all mapped out. So it's all ahead of us right now. And yeah, Zachary, there you have it.
Yeah. So real quick, TK, let's just say that I played college rugby and I put my name up for the draft and I'm not selected tonight. Is that going to am I going to still be able to be eligible to be a member of the MLR?
Absolutely, Zach. And I think you'll probably, after this event takes place, there'll be a fair few phone calls going out, because the guys that aren't drafted, I think the GMs will be on the phone straight away to those players. And to players that aren't called or aren't drafted, I would highly encourage you to get into the realm of the franchise and get immersed in the club scene. And if you're playing good rugby in the club scene, we're lucky enough in New England to have a really strong club competition, both in D1, ARP, Mystic compete in that, and we've also got a really strong D2 competition with clubs such as the Boston Irish Wolfhounds. We've got the Anchors, some really awesome clubs there. So reach out to us, get immersed in that, and look, we're fired up. We can't wait. Like I said, 400 plus athletes. Only 24 are going to go tonight, but we'll see many more of those in the MLR, Zach.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's incredible. I think, just having 400 that put themselves into the draft and only 24 will be selected tonight, really see the competition coming out and just the strength of players that are entering the MLR from the collegiate route is just really incredible to see, and looking forward to that competition heating up over the off season leading into the preseason.
Absolutely. I mean, last year we had a lot of first year players on with the Free Jacks who were, straight from college. So the college rugby is preparing these athletes to come right to the MLR and to make a statement. I'm young, I'm right from school, but I'm able to put my hand up for a professional spot. So that's great on the college clubs. It's great on these young athletes, great on the coaches and, the systems that are putting them in place. And, just like you said, we're excited for it.
Dead right, Zach. I love your work.
So, TK, is there anybody specifically or any individuals that that we should be looking out for?
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got I think we've got a bit of a list here that we've put together, 10 names to sort of look out for throughout this process. And we've got a graphic here, but I want to start right down at the bottom, and that's for a reason, because we've got a couple local lads down there at the bottom, a couple of New England natives, if you will. Casey Renault, he's a big 6'8" lock hailing from Vermont. And we've got Mason Koch. Excuse my pronunciation of the last name, always get it wrong, always butcher that. But he plays for Dartmouth College, obviously up in New Hampshire. And they're two guys, I reckon, that have a really good chance of going tonight. Just while I'm at it, obviously we've got some amazing, we're not all about the men's game. We're also very passionate about growing the women's game, the women's version of the game. And, to any woman, we've also got amazing clubs, Boston RFC and Beantown. So make sure you get stuck into those club teams there as well. A couple Bostons there for you. Take a couple sips. And then if we continue to look at this list, Zach, we'll just sort of highlight a couple guys. Obviously, front rowers are going to be, domestic front rowers are gold dust in Major League Rugby. You need 4 props on a roster week in, week out. You need 8 on a, well, you probably need 8 on a squad. So Spencer Kruger from Ohio State, he spent a bit of time down in New Zealand. Keep an eye on him. Zach, I think you might have played with him once upon a time.
I actually had the pleasure of coaching him.
Him?
Yeah. He's
That's
young,
awesome.
and geez, TK, I'm aging myself saying that now, but yeah, I've coached a young guy.
We're getting a
Good player.
lot of bets coming in for Rex for the first round pick. So I'm looking forward to seeing this. I know we're going to go live soon. TK, any final words on who to watch out for?
Yeah, Tammy, just to sign off, I think, your big schools, your Lifes, your Lindenwoods, obviously those students are going to have a really good chance. They've got really strong daily training environments, and that carries over really well into Major League Rugby. So look out for those athletes, your Connor Mooneyhams, your Justin Johnsons, Joe Russett-Cuddy, best mullet in collegiate rugby. I mean, he's got to go, in my opinion. Connor Buckley from my own, and New York have traded their draft spots away. I would have thought New York would have been pretty keen on a local lad, but let's have a look and see whether that 9 goes. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks TK for kind of giving us a bit of a rundown there. And Tammy, what do we got going on next?
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of picks coming in. We see Connie Mooningham, Tommy Clark coming through. We see Renard in the first round. A lot of drops in here. Cameron Dodson, Tavit, Lepetti, seeing a lot, and also people are in between dropping their picks saying Boston. So cheers, guys! Before we go live, let's have one last drink, one cheers, and let's see what's happening live with MLR draft. We just right on the nose at 7 o'clock Eastern. So waiting to go live with MLR live on their Facebook page, but we'll be bringing it right to you right here. No need to go anywhere.
This is kind of exciting.
Yeah.
I'm kind of pumped. Yeah.
What's going to happen? So
I know.
No one knows. Everyone on this call, no one knows. This is live. We don't know anything. So we're watching live with you.
I'm slightly nervous. I don't know why. You know?
Welcoming a new family, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, we have Tig. Hello. Look who just joined us.
You like that, Tig?
Yeah. Sorry.
Good, mate.
What's going on? Sorry, just getting myself
He's been playing around on that motorcycle, I think, guys. So
goodness.
late to the draft.
What's the SPF, Tig? Honestly.
I'm actually lucky.
There's been countless hours of work put into this moment. More than 400 prospects declared for this draft. And Dan, 24 lives are going to change forever.
Absolutely, Danny. What an exciting night. What an exciting prospect to be a part of with you here. Our Commissioner, George Killebrew, as well, coming on. It is life-changing. Let's be honest. Professional rugby wasn't in the landscape just a few years ago. Now it's here, and now these young men have an opportunity. 24 of them, like you said, will have their lives changed forever tonight.
So here's a look at what's coming up on the broadcast. The draft is 2 rounds with a total of 24 selections. We will also talk to Commissioner George Killebrew, plus have interviews with draftees and introduce you to the league's 2 newest franchises. In early March, Major League Rugby, along with the rest of the sports world, pushed pause on their season due to the COVID-19 global pandemic. A week later, it announced that all remaining 2020 matches were canceled and that the league would look ahead to 2021. We heard from players and coaches around the league.
We're in the midst of the biggest global pandemic of our generation.
In the Major League Rugby community,
we would like to recognize the heroes who continue to serve our community
through these challenging times.
To the doctors, nurses,
and emergency personnel.
To the grocery store employees, to the restaurant workers,
public transport operators, and countless others. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your selfless work ethic
and your heroic efforts to ensure that we can return to play another day.
I would love to welcome Major League Rugby Commissioner George Killebrew to the show. Commissioner, this is an historical day for the league. 24 lives are about to change forever. What excites you most about the future of Major League Rugby?
Well, Danny, it is a great day for our league. Obviously, we're moving into our 4th year, and this is our first collegiate draft. And, you know, the reason that it's important and significant is it's providing a pathway now for collegiate players that may want to take the next step. And there's nothing greater than that. We've seen it when picking the draft, obviously adding in a market like Los Angeles, where youth rugby in Southern California is the hotbed for this country. So having a second franchise there to go alongside the San Diego Legion is a major, major thing. And, in this day and age where sports leagues are just trying to more or less survive in a lot of cases, Major League Rugby is not only surviving, but it's thriving and it's expanding. And I'm in talks with 4 or 5 other cities that want to join our little family. Probably, would be looking at 2022, obviously, but there's a lot of interest in being a franchise in Major League Rugby.
Everyone's eyes are on the first ever draft, and this is going to help grow the American talent pool and define a pathway for U.S. collegiate prospects. What message do you hope this sends?
Well, I hope it sends, that you used the word and so did I. There is a pathway. If you're a youth rugby player in this country, there is now a pathway to go from youth, to an academy, to possibly a collegiate career, and then on to the professional ranks, just like there is in the more traditional, American sports leagues. I think it's significant. I think providing this pathway for these young men is really what it's all about. And we're delighted in going into year 4 to be able to do this.
Commissioner Killebrew, we are so grateful for your time. I'm so happy to see you. And I know that this is such a monumental day for the league, so congratulations.
Thank you, Danny. It's going to be a great day, and I look forward to congratulating all of the draft choices at the end of the day.
Coming up next, it's time to announce the selections in the 2020 Major League Rugby Collegiate Draft. History is about to be made.
We play together as one, and we stand together as one.
We refuse to stand for injustice and racism.
We stand for teamwork and we stand for action.
We are focused right now on listening, learning, and asking, what more can we do as an organisation and as the rugby community?
We want to hear from you. Email tackleracism@usmlr.com.
Or use the hashtag #TackleRacism on social media with your thoughts and suggestions.
We need to bond together as one sport and one community.
And make sure the playing field is level for everyone.
For everybody.
For everyone.
Everyone. For everyone.
For everyone.
All right, guys. Well, that was a heck of an intro to get into it. I don't know.
I think we might be having a bit of technical difficulty on the MLR side.
Yeah,
not a problem. We're getting some more picks coming in, so this is great. Stay with us. Looks like we're just gonna get back into the feed. But cheers to that. I mean, I think that was really important, really underlining the impact of how MLR stands behind the philosophies and the vision and the core mission of who they are, who we are as players, and different teams coming under one vision and mission as well to serve each of our communities. So really important. I think it's great to be a part of something so special.
Absolutely agree with that. Well, while we're waiting for the feed to get back up, Tammy, I'm just kind of going here through the questions. The questions that have been sent in, and guys, please send your questions out if you have anything. We'd love to answer them. While we have some time, we're definitely going to get into it. Philip Harris asks, is it possible to trade up or down once the draft starts? Philip, I don't really know. I don't believe so. TK, do you know anything about that?
Yeah, Zach. So any transactions must have taken place prior to the draft commencing. So once it's go time, no more trades and stuff of that nature on the table.
Gotcha. Great question, Philip. Bill Baker, why is Oliver drinking Corona? It will take him all night to get drunk.
It takes absolutely nothing.
A remote location, and he can't get shipments of Baxter tonight.
Yeah.
That's what we hear.
And we're back.
Here we go.
And welcome back. Take a look at your screen. This is the draft order for our Major League Rugby draft. 24 picks over 2 rounds. And you can see there's a few trades mixed in. Nola Gold traded with the Los Angeles team to have 2 first-round picks. Utah and Dallas will have the most picks in the draft with 4. And we're also going to bring in the commissioner, George Killebrew, again now to announce the first overall pick.
With the first pick in the inaugural Major League Rugby Collegiate Draft, the Dallas Jackals select Connor Mooneyham from Life University.
All right, Dan, there we have it. Connor Mooneyham out of Life University going first overall. That's a strong pick to start off the draft, Dan. What do you like about it?
I absolutely love the pick. Connor Mooneyham, in my opinion, was the most draft-ready player out of the 400 that declared. I think building a new franchise down there in Dallas, you've got a lot of options. You know, Elaine Vassy, Alan Clark, the coaching staff, Phil Cam, the general manager, they had a lot on their plate, obviously, to digest. And I think they've made the right choice here, going with a game-ready, plug-and-play option in Connor Mooneyham.
So a new franchise, a new roster that's still being built. How impactful can Connor Mooneyham be to this new roster?
I think he's ready to go straight away, Danny. I really do. I don't think they take him at number 1 if he's not ready. I think he's going to find a little bit of time, probably in year 1, playing on the wing, just to get his feet underneath him in professional rugby. Don't be surprised, though, if he gets a little bit of time in the midfield, wearing that 12-13 jersey. He's a fantastic distributor of the ball. He's got great vision and he takes the line on very well. Defensively, very, very happy with how he plays the game. Don't forget, he's come out of that program, Life University. Scott Lawrence, now the head coach of Rugby ATL, you know, always prided himself on discipline, on defence, on strength. Colton Cariaga, he's carried that on down there with Life University. One thing you can always guarantee, when a player is graduating from Life, they're coming out game ready, they're coming out life ready, pardon the pun, but very, very strong choice out of the gate for Dallas. I like this one a lot, Danny.
We are joined now by Connor Mooneyham, the first overall pick in the first ever Major League Rugby U.S. Collegiate Draft. And Connor, congratulations, first of all. I know this is a huge day for you and your family. We had a chance to talk earlier in the week, and you told me that back in 2016, you went and served on a mission in Argentina, and you came back to Life University with a renewed love for the game. When you found out that you were the first overall pick, what went through your mind?
I wanted to cry, honestly. I was just so excited. I'm super grateful and thankful for this opportunity.
Yeah, Connor, you're the first ever, and that's something you can be very proud of, mate. Tell us a little bit about the lead up to the draft. How was your week coming into this? How many teams contacted you leading up to the draft? And did you have a feeling that you were going to go number 1 to Dallas?
I never thought that I was going to go number 1, to be honest. Leading up to the draft, a few teams actually did reach out to me, and I really liked the professionalism of everybody, especially because the draft is brand new to everybody. You know, there's a lot of uncertainties coming into it, and everybody just helped me get through it, and so it's been great.
Yeah, it's going to a new franchise, an expansion side in Dallas. Alan Clark, Elaine Vassy down there, very, very strong rugby background. What are you looking to bring to the Dallas franchise in 2021?
I'm just super excited for Dallas in general. You know, I think it's a great city to have rugby. You know, it's a great sports city. I'm ready to just embark on this journey. I really enjoyed my conversations with Alan and with Elaine, and I'm super excited to play for them.
Connor, I know there are a lot of people who have come through your life and helped you get to where you are today. This is such a big day for all of those people as well. Who are some of the influences that have helped you get to this point?
There's been quite a few people. Obviously, I'd like to thank my parents, my sisters, my fiance for everything. Sierra Foothills, the rugby club that I primarily joined when I first started rugby. I'd like to thank all of them, all my coaches over there, you know, the Woodlands Rugby Club here in Texas, all of my coaches at Life University, you know, Dan Payne, Tui Osborne, Scott Lawrence, Colton Cariaga, all the assistant coaches, and definitely all the athletic trainers. My body wouldn't be the same without them, you know.
Well, beautiful stuff, Connor. I don't know if Scott Lawrence will be that happy as he coaches against you next year for Rugby ATL that he put all that effort into you. But very proud moment for you and your family, and definitely looking forward to calling you throughout 2021 for the Dallas Jackals, mate.
Thank you very much.
We welcome back Commissioner George Killebrew for the second overall pick in the MLR draft.
With the second pick in the inaugural.
All right, guys. Well, there we go. Connor Mooneyham, first pick. Tammy, what do you think about that?
Yeah, this is exciting. I know that from Life University, Mitch on our team can give some color into that as well. Would love to really dive into that and share some insight into the first round pick and what you think about it.
Yeah, look, I would love to share a bit of an insight. This draft's still getting picked away. I don't know if we want to pause that in the background or not. But yeah, obviously Connor Mooneyham, a teammate of mine for a few years when I was first there, and then went on a mission for a couple of years, and then came back and actually had the opportunity to room with him and be roommates. But Connor, he's a great player, even better person, and super proud of him and happy for this opportunity that lays ahead for him. And I think that Dallas have got a great pick, and Connor, it's an exciting player, and I'm not necessarily looking forward to playing against him, but I'm very excited to see what talent he brings to the MLR. And I think, again, Dallas have made a great pick.
Hey, so Mitchie, with this, and then you did graduate from Life. There's quite a few Life players that are making a name for themselves in the MLR. What is it about maybe the Life student athlete, or what is it about your guys' mental mindset, or what is it about that makes you guys so prevalent in the MLR right now?
Look, obviously, yeah, Life University, it's a top caliber rugby program. It's a program that has been very successful over the past years, and it's a program that has great coaches, great staff, and the university itself definitely looks after the rugby team, and gets some help from the university. So that is a big help, I think. And then players that come and are humble guys and are ready to work for 4 years. And Connor's one of those guys who has worked his butt off for the past 4 years. He had a 2-year break in between and came back and finished the job. And these are opportunities that await when you kind of push yourself every day in an environment like Life University.
Right on. Well said.
Yeah, awesome. I just going back to the second pick over here, we have Brian Nault from Central Washington, and he has a pet kangaroo. Not sure what to think about that, but interesting to see. He'll be joining NOLA Gold for the 2021 season, and looking forward to seeing that as well.
Yeah, where do you even house a pet kangaroo?
The pet kangaroo?
I actually spoke to him years ago about his pet kangaroo, and I guess he has a couple exotic animals at his place.
Oh, this is real.
Yeah.
We could
Kangaroo
see a
King guy.
2021.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, Mitchie, well, we got you here. We're gonna keep getting into this one a little bit. I want to tuck it into to see, like, with these college athletes, we had mentioned earlier that we had quite a few on the team last year that played collegiately and that made that transition to MLR. And you had mentioned that Connor, he works hard, and Life University prepared him very well. What would be, one of the two things that you did individually to prep you for your first year in the MLR?
Look, I think that there's a big gap right now from, it's several months until the MLR season starts, before preseason even starts. So it's a good opportunity now for the players to kind of work as hard as they can and try and catch up on that gap between the collegiate level and the professional level. So that's just making sure you getting game time, or getting your touches, doing your skill sessions, getting in the weight room, chatting with the coaches and the senior players at the franchises that you're at, and picking their brains a little bit. But just working hard in this so-called off season. This is probably the biggest off season that these college players would have, and just capitalizing on that time off and really not making it any time off, I guess.
Yeah, you really can't afford to take your foot off anymore.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, how about we pop back to the draft? I know they were just discussing if you will be bringing...
Ryan, and we look forward to seeing you next season. Congratulations again.
Thank you very much.
And for the last time tonight, we welcome back Commissioner Killebrew.
With the third selection in the inaugural Major League Rugby Collegiate Draft, the Utah Warriors select Derek Ellingson from St. Mary's College of California.
Dan, this wasn't a name on a lot of boards, but this is a great value for Utah at number 3.
Great value. Couldn't have said it any better, Danny. That is exactly right with this pick. A lot of people didn't have Derek Ellingson on their board. Dig a little deeper. Do your research. St. Mary's is a hotbed for talent. Tim O'Brien, one of the best collegiate coaches in American rugby. He has an absolute splattering of talent throughout the league currently. The alumni from St. Mary's is incredible in Major League Rugby. We owe the College of St. Mary's a lot for the talent they've given us at the start of Major League Rugby. I like this pick. He's going to probably do some time behind the Whippy brothers on the wing out there. You've also got Gannon Moore, the Kansas City Blues product, playing for Utah now. A lot of talent, but he's also got a pretty good boot. The former hockey player spent a little bit of time on the ice. He developed those hockey hips, Danny, so he can move, he can shake and bake a little bit, and he's also got a good kicking game. So at altitude in Utah, look for the Warriors to use that to exit, something that they've struggled with in the first 3 years of Major League Rugby.
And Dan, we should point out that Utah decided to trade and get more picks from Houston. 4 picks in this draft. What is so important about drafting here in the United States for MLR?
Well, I think it comes down to their director of rugby, Brandon Sparks. You know, we're going to talk to Brandon in a little bit, but he has a real eye for talent. He knows the collegiate game. He knows the talent is there. Athletically, I don't think there's a country in the world that's more talented than the United States. Brandon Sparks knows that. He's going to go find those talented players. He's going to pick them for the Warriors. They're going to coach them up. And Warriors fans, get excited. Ellingson, he is a gamer and he's playing for your team next year.
All right, 3 picks down, 21 still to go on the clock. Next is Austin at number 4, Seattle at number 5, and New England at number 6 as the 2020 Major League Rugby Collegiate Draft continues on FTF.
Hey TK, I've got a quick question. How did those players, those first 3 draft picks, fit into our plan at the Free Jacks?
Yeah, well, it's yeah, I think we can probably give some pretty good insight as to how the whole thing works. And you know, essentially, the draft is an amazing thing because it's such a unique model that, you know, no other organizations and leagues around the world are using, and it's just so American sport, and it's something that we've got to capitalize on. It brings so much exposure to the athletes themselves and to the league itself. There's been so much conversation over the past weeks about it, so it's been an amazing thing. At the same time, you've got to make sure that that player is the right fit for your region. You know, and it's our season runs for 7 months, Oliver, and you've got to make sure they've got something to do for the other 5 months of the year, and you know, that it's going to be a good fit for them. You know, they may have family in the area, so be it. But we really ranked them. Connor Mooneyham, as they mentioned, yeah, he's MLR ready. Mitch can attest to that. Quality player, versatile, covers multiple positions. So we had him ranked really high, as we did with Brian Nolt. And Brian Nolt's the front row forward. We've got a really good relationship with Todd Thornley at Central Washington, and he really commended Brian on his character. Obviously, he had been captaining Central Washington, which is sort of traditionally a top 5 university in America in the D1A competition. So Mitchie, you know, Dion, some of our strongest collegiate players would have come up against those guys regularly. And I think Brian, due to his ability to cover the front row and being such a strong, stable option, was way up there in everyone's books. So we weren't surprised when he did go early, number 2 to New Orleans.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Chantabusi here, prop for Rugby ATL, also Eagle 531. I just want to tell you a little bit about me and my experience coming into rugby and how I came to it. I originally started playing in high school, but when I came into college, going to Lindenwood University, that's when things started really ramping up for me. I've been lucky enough and blessed enough to represent my country at the highest level. And with that being said, college really took a big step for me moving forward in my rugby career and really prepared me for what was to come here at Rugby ATL, putting me on a high foot moving forward.
Josh Brown, Old Glory, DC. My road to rugby began in college. I played 8-man for Salisbury University for 4 years. And college rugby helped me to understand the type of sacrifice and work ethic required, not only for rugby, but for anything that you care about to perform at the highest level.
Kenny Scott, Utah Warriors. My road to rugby began back in college. I attended Kansas State University. At the time, I was walking on for the football team. And I had an old acquaintance, I guess, who's now one of my best friends, come up to me while I was working out and tell me after I didn't make the team to come give rugby a try. So came out to practice later that week, stuck with it, and here I am today.
My road to rugby began in Naples, Florida. I played for the Naples Bears. It was a high school level club, and from there I went on to play college football, and then restarted my journey 3 years ago when the US MLR started, and the rest is history.
My advice to the draftees would just be to enjoy every moment, and if you're fortunate enough to sign with one of the teams, put all the hard work you can into it and good things will happen.
My advice to draftees is to stay adaptable. That's the best skill that you can learn when you're coming out of college, especially when you're on a rugby journey, is that you want to stay adaptable. You want to be prepared to move if you need to, go where you need to go to be surrounded by the people that are going to help you succeed and make you a better player.
The advice I have to the draftees, whatever team that you end up with, just show up fit, show up hungry, because I think the best thing about rookies is the energy that you guys can bring, and you can make a difference from day one. So it's hard to be confident, but if you put in the work, it'll show, and everyone will appreciate that from you.
I wish you guys the very best luck, and my advice for you is to keep your head on straight, remain humble, and any opportunity you get to continue to play footy, you take it, and you just enjoy the ride. Rugby's never forever, but the legacy you leave behind is important. Much love, guys.
My advice to the draftees would be to work just as hard off the pitch as you do on. Watch as much rugby as possible. Take advantage of every single opportunity you get and enjoy every single minute of it. When I first signed with Old Glory DC, it was a dream 31 years in the making finally come true. So best of luck to you boys, and look forward to sharing the pitch with you.
Those were some draft memories from current Major League Rugby players. And taking a look at some of the newest to enter the league, the top 3 picks have been announced. We've already heard from number 1 overall, Connor Mooneyham, and number 2 overall, Brian Nault. Now let's talk with the 3rd overall selection. We are now joined by Derek Ellingson, the 3rd overall pick in this draft. Derek, congratulations. We are so excited and happy to have you on this show. You are headed to Utah. And for the fans who are watching at home, what can they expect to see from you next season?
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity. I don't really know. I'm excited to get there and just kind of see where this road keeps taking me. I've played at St. Mary's for the last 4 years, and I'm excited to continue my journey.
Derek, you had quite a journey at St. Mary's with Tim O'Brien out there as a head coach. Starting in the C team, this has been a meteoric rise to say the least. How high is your ceiling going to Utah? What can Chris Latham expect from you next year?
I think the biggest thing that kind of brought me to where I am today is just having the work ethic to continue to get better and to be the best. So if I can continue and have that work ethic kind of defined, it's what brought me from the C side to the A side of St. Mary's, and I believe it could bring me from wherever I end up to hopefully as far as I can get. I don't necessarily have any end goal or anything like that, but I'm excited to get started for sure.
Yeah, obviously, hockey background, mate. Did you ever think all those freezing cold mornings on the ice would lead you to playing professional rugby in Utah?
Definitely not, but I'm glad I'm used to the cold.
Awesome. Well, Derek, we are so excited for you again. Congratulations. Thank you for joining us, and we'll look forward to seeing you next season.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much.
All right, Dan, we've seen the first 3, and now we move along to 4, 5, and 6 in this draft, and it's going to get exciting. Let's take a look. Let's start with Louis Satama. He is going 4th overall. Austin is getting a dangerous utility back here at number 4.
Yeah, they certainly are. And, you know, Coach Fletcher up there at AIC has done an amazing job developing talent, harnessing talent, and she's done it here with Louis as well. Because not only are Austin getting a dangerous ball runner, they're also getting a very strong defender as well in Satama. He will plug in and add some depth to that midfield. Much needed depth, I might add, for the Austin Gilgronis. My Austin Gilgronis.
And we move on now to Aaron Matthews, 5th overall pick to Seattle. Dan, this is a pick that's going to cover a lot of bases for this team.
It certainly will. We saw this year, Danny, Seattle struggled out of the gate, and depth in the back line was one of the issues they dealt with. Now, Aaron Matthews, I feel, the most talented rugby player in this year's draft. Seattle getting an absolute steal here at number 5 with Matthews. I love this pick.
Dan, he told me earlier this week that his best strength is going to be his hair, but he's going to have some competition, won't he?
Well, you got Vili Tolitau up there, the big smiling assassin. Yeah, but great hair game from Matthews out of St. Mary's. That's a good one, Danny. He's going to do well. You better be careful. They have a pretty strong tradition in their kangaroo court sessions that involves hair. So watch those locks, Mr. Matthews.
And with the 6th overall pick, Justin Johnson is heading to New England. Dan, this is one of your favorites in the draft. Why?
Well, Mags, Josh Smith, you've got yourself an absolute winner here. Not only a great rugby player, but a great human being. I spoke to his head coach, Colton Carriaga, down at Life University. 93% of the time he touches the ball, he gets over the gain line. That tells me we've got an aggressive, dynamic ball runner, a guy who can spot opportunities and exploit them. He's going to do that in New England. He joins a great back row up there. I think him and Zach Striffler are going to be an unbelievable combination on the flanks for New England.
And where do you see him fitting in with the Free Jacks forward pack?
He's probably going to do a little bit of time on the bench year 1, just to get his feet underneath him. I think you'll find that with a lot of the players that get drafted tonight, Danny. They'll probably do a little bit of time on the bench. Some will plug in straight away and start. With Johnson, his rugby IQ needs to grow a little bit. He's a man who got 2 degrees in 4 years, so his ability to process and retain information is extremely high. He's going to have Alexander Magleby, the GM up there, Josh Smith, the head coach, and a great support staff who I really believe will get the best out of Justin Johnson. This is a really good pick. And again, it's early to say it, but I feel like this is a steal at 6.
All right, we are moving.
All right, well, welcome. We've got an awesome pick. What do you think about that one, Tammy? TK,
Awesome.
What do you think?
So pumped to have Justin join us. Really thrilled. We've got a couple right answers in the chats with us, but we're thrilled. And we're going to show some clips and hopefully that's sometime live.
Justin Johnson, the powerful flanker on his flank.
All right, we look like he's got too many good moves to actually show before the season starts, it looks like. But welcome to Boston, Justin.
Excited to have you on board, bro. Can't wait to meet you. And I speak for behalf on all the players, coaching staff, and the entire city of Boston when I say we can't wait to get you up here.
Really looking forward to it, and would love to hear as well, TK, some thoughts on Justin. And if you can get hold of him, we'd love to chat to him if you can.
Yeah, we'll try and get Justin on the phone so he can kind of make a bit of a statement and join the crew here in a moment. But yeah, like for us, Justin was one of the guys we've been looking at right from day dot. He's a back rower that can play 6, 7, and 8, gets around the field really well, really physical. arguably the most physical player in the draft, and he's ready to get out there and make an impact right from day one. So we're really keen on getting Justin to New England. We thought he was going to be a really good fit, and they touched on, his diligence in the academic scene as well, and it was really important to us, his ability to sort of come to Boston and begin to forge a career as well, alongside obviously contributing in a big way to what is becoming a really dominant rugby team in New England. So we're really happy to have Justin Johnson aboard. He's a great player. He's got a great road ahead of him. And Justin, when you see this, mate, welcome aboard.
Yeah, welcome aboard. I think we may have a contact with Justin, or may have a special message for him. Ollie, do we have anything for him?
I think so.
3-time Super Bowl champion, Patrick.
Justin, how you doing, man? Hey, Justin, how you doing, man? It's Patrick Chung, owner of the Free Jacks, and I just want to personally say congratulations on being the 6th pick, man. We're very excited to have you. Smart kid, 2 bachelor's degrees, very powerful, physical. That's the kind of guys we need, smart, physical players, and coming here and being the 1st pick for us, that you're coming into a brotherhood, coming into a family, from me, coaches, players, community, New England, everything. We're here to be good people and good teammates and good players, and staying out of trouble also. That's why we brought you here. We know you have a good head on your shoulders. We already know you can play some rugby, so we're very excited to have you here, man. And, I know you're excited. I know my draft day, I know how it was, man. It's a lot of feelings that go in with that. I just want to personally say, thank you for your work, and, we appreciate you, everything you've done on and off the field, as far as academics and physically, everything, so like I said, man, we're very excited to have you, and, we'll see you soon, and I hope you're ready to rock. All right, I'll see you soon, man. Congrats.
Incredible message from one of our co-owners, Patrick Chung, also one of the 3-time Super Bowl champions in New England. We are thrilled to have such leadership, and what a welcome. I think we're going to head on over back to the draft and wait till we get to our 18th pick.
One of the biggest players in the draft, a real line-out target now.
My neck already hurts from looking up, having to talk to Casey next season when he plays for Old Glory. Yeah, 6'8", big boy. Something that's been missing is tall locks, especially American-born tall locks. And Casey Renaud ticks that box significantly. He'll join Appy Nakatini there in that lock. He's got Fiona Schultz behind him at 8 as well. And Mungo Mason. He's going to have some really good leaders around him at Old Glory. He'll do really well there on Andrew Douglas's side.
Absolutely. I talked to him earlier in the week, and he was excited. He was ready. And listen, Dan, we mentioned he's a big guy. He's 240 pounds-ish. How is he going to handle the physicality of professional rugby?
Yeah, 240. You wouldn't say that's a small person by any stretch, but at 6'8", that's distributed pretty evenly. That's a big frame. So he's probably going to have to put on some size. I don't think it's beyond him. Everything I've heard out of Kutztown, it's going to be a guy who comes out willing to put in some hard work. He's going to be tough. He's going to be rugged. And he knows he's going to have to put in some work, and he'll do it. It's a good pick for Old Glory. And like I said, looking forward to seeing that line out in 2021.
We move on with the 12th overall pick. Patrick Madden is heading to San Diego. He's going to finish out the first round, Dan, and a San Diego, he's going local to them with their first pick.
Yeah, nice little bit of versatility. It's been a really strong point, the fly half position for San Diego. So interesting to see how Madden fits into Zach Test's plan down there. But he's got a good rugby pedigree. He's played for a long time. Local kid, like you said, from San Diego. Spent some time down at University of Queensland, getting a nice little education in rugby down there with the UQ program. So they've seen something in him they like to pick at number 12 and round out the first round for the Legion. So interesting to see where Madden fits into Zach Test's plan.
And San Diego's midfield has been one of its strong points the last 2 years. What do you think Zach Test is looking for in Madden?
That's a great question. You know, you've gone from Joe Peterson to Lukey Burton. You've had JP Duplessis as an absolute steadfast for that midfield. Ma'anonu this year. So Madden's going to come in with a bunch of quality players playing in positions he wants to play. osmosis, Danny. That's going to be a catchword here, osmosis. And he is going to learn from these players and potentially be a long-term solution in that midfield for the Legion. Another great pick.
Dan, the first round is in the books. The second round is on deck. The remaining 12 picks of the 2020 Major League Rugby Collegiate Draft are coming up next here on FTF.
Hey Justin, how you doing, man? It's Patrick Chung, owner of the Free Jacks, and I just want to personally say congratulations on being a 6th pick, man. You know, we're very excited to have you. Smart kid, 2 bachelor's degrees, you know, very powerful, physical. You know, that's the kind of guys we need, smart, physical players, you know, and coming here and being the first pick for us, you know, that you're coming into a brotherhood, coming into a family, you know, from me, coaches, players, community, New England, everything. You know, we're here to be good people and good teammates and good players, you know, and staying out of trouble also. That's why we brought you here. We know you have a good head on your shoulders. We already know you can play some rugby, you know, so we're very excited to have you here, man. And, you know, I know you're excited. You know, I know my draft day, I know how it was, man. It's a lot of feelings that go in with that, you know. And I just want to personally say, you know, thank you for your work. And, you know, we appreciate you, everything you've done on and off the field, as far as academics and physically, everything, you know. So like I said, man, we're very excited to have you, and, you know, we'll see you soon, and I hope you're ready to rock. All right, I'll see you soon, man.
So how cool is that we get, you know, we have one of our owners who gets to speak out and, you know, gets airtime like that to speak to one of our players?
That's incredible. I think it's such a testament to the leadership of the Free Jacks. That is to have that alignment. I think we're going to go back shortly when we get to the 18th. We're really, really close here for the second pick. We are getting some more in here. I know we had, it looks like we have Judson for the second pick. I'm seeing a few others come through. Again, just a reminder, we do have a flash sale for the duration of the draft. Use FJ Draft, whatever, tomato, whichever one you prefer. Also, again, a huge thank you to Baxter. We're talking a lot, so they're keeping us hydrated. So thank you so much. And I'll cheers to Boston and mainly Maine. So thank you so much, Baxter. And again, this energy is brought to you by Kings Road Coffee. And so thank you so much for having us part of your family, your Saturday and your Saturday nights as well. So thank you so much for joining us. We're excited to see where this goes. I know the boys are ready to see what this pick looks like, and we'll have some more fun and games and talk to some more of our guys after this as well. What do you think, Zach?
Yeah, I think that sounds great. And just, you know, while we got a little bit of time here, you know, we'll go through a few questions. You think we got some time for that?
Yeah, absolutely. We got quite a few questions here.
All right. Gregory Owens asked us, what rhymes with lost in? Gregory, is that a plea for a drink?
In.
I think it may be. I'm going to go with Boston.
Oh, cheers.
Gregory, cue it up, guy. Applaud you.
Way to go.
In this one, we may need some team participation. So this one's for other. So the question is from Bill Baker. Josh and others growing up outside of the U.S., please explain the uniqueness of a draft system as opposed to a traditional academy system. So if we can get Connor or Joshy or somebody wants to put their hand up and maybe walk us through this.
Welcome back to the 2020 Major League Rugby Draft. I'm Danny Wexelman.
Josh, what were you saying there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I'll jump in there just to know what we're going on to the draft or not. But, yeah, I guess from my point of view, growing up in New Zealand, the academy, the real difference for me is just the collegiate sport here in America is so much bigger. Even, you know, in New Zealand, people don't play for the universities as such. They'll play for their local clubs, and that sort of feeds onto academy of local professional teams in the Mitre 10 and Super Rugby. Whereas, like I said, with American sports, it's, collegiate sport's big here. So that's the pathway people are used to. There's scholarship opportunities in collegiate rugby and and also, you know, all collegiate sports in America. So I think that pathway, keeping that traditional sense is a smart route to go. So I feel that's the reason why we've seen a draft here in the MLR, and also it's getting people interested, and it's also great, you know, building some hype around it, which is awesome.
Yeah, Connor, what would be your take on this coming from Ireland?
Yeah, similar to what Josh said there. I suppose the difference at home is you go into an academy a lot sooner than college. So myself and Tyg would have been in sub-academy with Connacht while we were still in high school. So we would have started our development a lot earlier. And then you'd be like kind of tied in then with your province. It is an Irish situation. In provinces where you live, your state, pretty much. So you're brought up from a much younger age, opposed to coming up through a high school system that's separate to a university, that's then separate to your professional team. You're actually being in the one system from 15 years old to senior squad member.
All the way through.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, guys, for your input. You know, it's different for me. You know, I didn't grow up playing rugby. I didn't actually pick it up until a little bit later. So, you know, hearing how and kind of getting a better understanding through meeting players from, you know, international players, how they got into it, and, you know, how the rugby system works through them. It's much different than how it is in the States. Wouldn't you say so, Tammy?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think it's interesting, and I love hearing so many of the different stories from the players and transitioning from their homeland to the United States. I'm from South Africa, and I played at the collegiate level tennis, Division 1, and just that transition. And I think what's so unique is it brings a lot of these players together, having so many of those same similarities, being away from home. A lot of teammates are away from their families. They've sacrificed leaving, doing that. And it's so important to have a lot of these guys that grew up in the US have created such a home, such a welcoming family to bring them in. And it's such a diverse sort of melting pot, and it's really incredible to see how we've infused so many different countries. I mean, just on this call, we have Ireland, we have New Zealand, it's really diverse. So from around the world, and it's really special to see that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great game to be a part of, and it's something that's kind of held me into it.
Yeah.
You know, meeting and having the opportunity to play with guys that did go through the American collegiate system, that weren't, you know, they weren't born in the US. They weren't US citizens until college, or until, you know, they made that jump to it. So it's, you know, I mean, it's a cool sport because it can involve, just like you said, it's a very diverse, it can involve a lot of different cultures, a lot of different people from different walks of life. And I think, you know, that's my favorite part about it.
Yeah.
Is I could sit on this call, just like you mentioned. I've got guys that grew up in the States. I've got guys that grew up in Ireland, guys that grew up all over the world. And, you know, I can give anybody a call at any point in time, and knowing that phone is going to get answered just because we were teammates together, you know, and we grew that bond.
Mm-hmm. And I just want to send us back to the live feed right now to dive into what Patrick's talking about. Just going back to the feed, they're talking a lot about, and we'll go back to this as well. I want to talk about it after the draft, but when the season came to a halt, just before, I think it was 2 days before our first home match, we shifted virtual. And I think it was just such an incredible way as well to bring so many of the players from around the world together. Everyone had left, had gone home, some had stayed. And I think that really kicked off that engagement to keep folks engaged, keep players as well in touch with others in other parts of the world. So it was great to see a bit of a highlight there. We can talk about that a little bit later as well. I know I'm itching to see our second peg, but just just like everyone else, we're itching to get back to the stadiums and, you know, with our drafts, with our friends, and really have a good time. So really, really looking forward to heading into the preseason. We're going to talk a little bit more about the preseason, but I think we're going to get back into what the draft looks like. We have Dallas, LA, Utah, Austin, Seattle, and then we have the 18th pick. So looking forward to diving into the second round and also hearing from some of the guys. Just another thing, again, please feel free to drop your questions in, hear from the players directly. I'm sure they want to share a little bit more about their experience, what they're looking forward to as well. But I'll shift it over right now to the live feed to hear where we are. I don't think it's just me, but everyone has lost volume. So we're waiting on the volume. I'm like, hang on a second. I've got 2 beers here. Surely it's just not me. While we're waiting on the feed to resume, looking forward
tonight after the draft finishes. So undrafted free agents will also be available for MLR teams to start contacting. So 12 names left, but there's still a lot of talent.
All right, with the 13th overall pick in the MLR draft, the Dallas Jackals choose Levi Van Lanen out of Wisconsin Whitewater. Dan, what is Dallas looking for from Van Lanen?
Well, they've got themselves another outside back, and they've got themselves a guy who is very new to rugby, only started playing in college, which is something that is becoming quite the norm, actually, in the US rugby landscape. He was a wrestler growing up, 3-time state qualifier for wrestling in particular, which, as we know, is a great grounding for rugby. Look no further than former USA number 8 Dan Payne, who's obviously a big name in the USA rugby scene. He was a wrestler. He's a big component of preaching the wrestling background as well. So Dallas, they'll probably play him on the wing. He played a little bit of football as a puncher as well, so he's got a leg on him. So probably on the wing, you'll see him get his start, but don't be surprised if he ends up playing in the centers at some point for Dallas.
And with the 14th overall pick, LA's first pick of the draft, they go with Watson Faliki Tonga. Dan, what do you like about this pick?
Oh, I love this pick. I absolutely love this pick. I thought he was a first rounder. He's great. Bruce McLean, our second Iona Gale, comes off the board for the head coach there. And don't forget, his brother Lamoto was also a USA Eagle. So you talk about pedigree, Watson has that pedigree. A little late to rugby, actually didn't like rugby growing up. A little bit of the black sheep of the family, he called himself, but now well and truly ingrained. And I think this is a beautiful pick. And welcome to the league, Los Angeles. Good pick out of the gates for our friends there out in the West Coast.
And with the 15th pick in the MLR draft, Utah goes with Danny Gianoskoli. I spoke with him earlier this week, Dan. He said that everything that he's been working for, being drafted, would make it all worth it. And congratulations, Danny. It is all worth it. The third back in the draft for the Warriors. What's the plan with Danny?
Super versatile. Like, this is a guy who initially wasn't on my board when I started looking about 2 months ago when the draft was announced. I was going through a lot of talent, and that's probably because he went to a D2 school. Now, as I've done my research, I've spoken to general managers. This was a name that kept coming up. So I'm like, I've got to go watch this kid. And when I did, I was impressed. He's super versatile. He's a game winner. He's going to get out there. He's going to make things happen. He's a little long-limbed, maybe a little lean at the moment, but he goes out to the Warriors and a good program out there. Don't be surprised if you see him getting some quality minutes for Utah in 2021.
And Dan, that's actually exactly what he told me when we spoke earlier this week. Some adversity he's faced is playing at a D2 school, but he said he's got finesse. And when he used the word finesse, I was sold.
Oh, absolutely. It's like the one-handed Pete Sampras backhand, Pistol Pete, just finesse. And that's what Danny has. He is a finesse player. He reminds me a little bit of Stephen Larkham, the Wallabies fly half. Doesn't look like he's moving fast, he just glides across the field. He could run through a fresh sheet of snow and not leave footprints. That's how he kind of moves around the field. It's a great pickup here. And funny enough, Larkham's old teammate, Chris Latham, is his new head coach at the Utah Warriors.
And with the 16th pick in the MLR draft, Austin selects Mason Koch. Dan, he's a Dartmouth guy heading down south.
Well, Dartmouth is becoming quite the nursery, isn't it, Danny? We've got Nate Brakeley and Ollie Engelhardt already out in the Major League Rugby scene. You know, most fans will be familiar with those names. And he is a multi-sport machine. Like, he played football in the fall, he wrestled, played baseball, went to Dartmouth to play football, and now finds his way to rugby. And the Gilgronis, they may have a winner here. He's going to go down to Austin, play behind Tiana Rasmus at hooker. A lot to learn and a great teacher there in Tiana Rasmus down with the Gilgronis. So a good pick up here and add some depth to that front row, which, as we've heard, you need depth in the front row in Major League Rugby, and they get that.
All right, we move on to the 17th pick in the draft. Seattle select.
I'm going to bet the rest of this beer that we have audio in time for the 18th.
Let's keep the fingers crossed. And I'll double that. I think Ollie just may be overexcited that there was an old teammate of his that just got picked up. So, you know, no, I mean, but, you know, bravo to Dartmouth. Just like Dan had mentioned, you know, it's certainly becoming a nursery to the MLR game. And fortunately for us, we do have a very close relationship with, you know, the Dartmouth program. And, you know, one of our own, Mitch Wilson, does do a bit of assistant coaching there with the team. So, you know, that's a great show on Dartmouth. You know, very good helping out the local Northeastern teams. You know, excited to see where Dartmouth's going to go. And especially we do have an analyst in James Willix, you know, who's been helping us out a lot, and, you know, a fantastic representative of the game, and someone that I know these college athletes are excited to have.
The product from the Ohio State University. Tom Rooney has a great program out there. Kruger will come out. He'll be ready to play. Josh Smith is going to have a gamer there in that back row. Again, more depth coming in. I'm sorry, up front. He's going to have more depth up front, and that's what you need in Major League Rugby. We need these big boys up front. You need them fit and firing. And Kruger's going to go out there and really push to make that 23 next year.
Dan, he's been playing for a long time. He started in 7th grade. He said he had a team picture day for football, and the coaches came out and handed out flyers in high school to play rugby. Said he didn't want to play originally because none of his friends were doing it, but it turns out that he loved it. That's how everyone's stories go, right?
Peer pressure, kids. That's the moral. Don't give in to peer pressure. If your friends aren't doing it, playing rugby that is, you should do it. Get out there. Sign up for your college team. This is your future. This is your hope. You could be drafted next year. So it's not too late for all you college students tuning in. Get out there, sign up, play some rugby. It's the greatest sport in the world.
I love it. Up next, the final 6 selections of the historic 2020 Major
to get whole
draft. Plus, we'll introduce you to the newest teams to join MLR. Dallas.
Once again, we welcome the 18th pick to the New England Free Jacks and to Boston. I will check that. I think TK has him on the phone to go live. We want to hear right now from Spencer.
I think I heard Boston there, and I think we heard a new teammate, lads. So we'll have a sip.
We do, yes.
I had the pleasure of coaching Spencer. I've been, you know, he's been playing at Ohio State, and, you know, I've been living in Cleveland, so I have been making that commute. Ohio State, fantastic program. Tom Rooney, Ron Bowers down there. Those guys do a fantastic job representing the Big Ten. And TK, what do you got for us? We have Spencer live?
Yeah, we do have Spencer live, and Zach, I know you know him very well. And Spencer, thank you very much for jumping on board on such quick notice, mate. But everyone, Free Jacks fans, we have Spencer Kruger here, so hopefully we can make him out just.
Hey, Spencer. Welcome to Free Jacks.
Spence, welcome aboard, brother.
Hey, Zach. I'm glad to be here. You know, been to Boston before. I love it out there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, what I'm sure you have your whole family around you there. I heard you guys may have a bit of a party for this.
Yeah, you know, the roommates got some stuff together. My parents just happen to be in town, so got a couple people over right now.
That's awesome, man. You know, I'm proud of you. Very, very, very excited to have you on board. You know, like I mentioned earlier, to everybody out there, you know, I had the pleasure of coaching him. Never thought, you know, I've had the opportunity to play with him, but you know, I'm super excited for it, and, you know, like I said, super proud and excited to have you on board, man.
Yeah, definitely. I really appreciate it. It'd be great to play with you finally.
Yeah, just don't make me look as old as I feel.
Yeah, no, I won't. Don't worry.
Hey, Spencer, mate, congratulations. We'll be in touch, and thanks for jumping on.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks.
Sweet, mate.
I really appreciate it.
Enjoy your evening. Good man.
Yeah, thank you.
See you, mate. Bye.
Awesome to hear from Spencer as the announcement is made. That is just awesome. Would love to hear from some of the guys as well. Some thoughts on the draft. That wraps up the first 2 picks. Of course, there are a couple more rounds going. Not a couple more rounds. That's the last few picks of the final round. But that wraps up the first 2 drafts for the New England Free Jacks. We have Justin Johnson and Spencer Kruger coming to Boston. So really thrilled
Boston,
about
you
that.
heard it.
You heard it right here. Cheers, guys. Baxter, Staycationland. Here we go. Awesome.
Yeah, maybe if I can just touch on that one, Zach, from our point of view.
Absolutely.
You know, we look for guys that come out of, we talked about daily training environments and, you know, the likes of, you know, D1A programs and Spencer was a guy that kind of went out of his way to find really meaningful competition. And, you know, that with his time up in Chicago, he played some club rugby up there against really strong competition. And he actually went over to New Zealand, and you guys may have seen he spent some time with the IHPU Academy with the Crusaders, which is arguably the best club in the world. So he spent some time there, played some Premier Rugby at tight head prop in the club competition there, and we had really, really good feedback from his coaches within the club competition and within the Crusaders Academy. So we're really stoked to have Spencer on board, and he'll really bolster our front row. So Spencer, welcome aboard, mate.
Awesome. That is just incredible. The first draft. I mean, Josh Larson, I want to call on you. What do you think of the first 2 picks and the draft in general?
Yeah, great. Really exciting. Seem like 2 real good characters. Yeah, like I said, not only good rugby players, but just good people. And, you know, that's what we look for at the Free Jacks, you know. So, no, excited to have them on board. Spencer looks like a big boy, and, you know, good to see he's been playing rugby a long time, and he's gone out of his way to, you know, play at some high competition and high levels. So I'm excited to meet them both, and yeah, can't wait to have them on board.
Yeah, awesome. And I'd love to hear, you know, Alex Magleby, CEO and co-owner of the Free Jacks, has in the draft now joined us here. I'd love to hear, Mags, your thoughts on the draft and tell us some about the thinking going through it as well.
Well, first of all, you guys are freaking awesome. So great stuff.
Cheers to that.
I don't know how many more cheers like we're doing with this stuff now.
That's the great thing about Staycationland. It's quick and easy. Yeah. Not an advertisement. You can drink it all day. You can drink it all draft day.
So, Mags, just a quick question. Just you know, I'm quite curious. What was it like? You know, having to make selections for a draft. You know, like.
Thank goodness TK is there with James, like crunching numbers, doing all the heavy lifting. So my job is just simply to look at the data that they've collected and make sure our priorities are correct and align with where we're going. And you know, the work was already done. So massive hat tip and cheers to TK and James. I think we're really, really excited about you know, Justin and Spencer, and just so excited to welcome into New England. I think they're going to be great Free Jacks.
That's awesome. Just
great to have them. So
it's incredible. And I know we have one of our founding members and fans on the call who we have Todd. We've asked Todd to give us a bit of a come on, we want to say hi. He's incredible. He's been at many of our fan events. He would have been first in line in the stadium for our first home match. I believe he's in full regalia tonight. Welcome to Todd.
All right.
Hello, Spider. Nice to see you all.
Spider.
What's up, gang? What's up, Mags? How we doing? Great night tonight. I'm lighting the lantern tonight.
My guy.
And I'm hanging out in my garage, you know, smoking the tavern pipe, drinking cocktails.
Nice, Todd. Todd, what's the message? What do the fans want to say to Justin and Spencer?
Welcome to New England. I mean, this is a great fan base, and we're gonna have a great time supporting you. And anytime you come out, we're gonna, you know, treat you like royalty.
That's
you know,
Oh.
because that's how we see you guys. We like to emanate the image that you guys portray.
Yeah, Todd, how excited are the fans to finally, hopefully, fingers crossed, next season get to see us in a home game?
Oh, we're pumped, man. I mean, we're off the walls. Like to get it canceled like 2 days before, like me and all my friends who are, we involved in our rugby club, the Mohawk Rugby Club from North Adams State College, which is now MCLA. But anyway, we all bought a bunch of season tickets. There's like 10 or 12 of us. So we got the pocket pass. We're like, all right, we're going to have this, that. You get the beers. I'll get the food and this and that.
I'll get the beers.
And then I was like, no. But, we're thankful that, everyone's safe, first of all. And secondly, that, we got to participate in all the other things leading up to it. All the stuff you guys had at the pubs, the preseason games, the games under the dome, and how accessible you guys are. And I'd like to thank Josh Larson for joining our club Zoom call, and Kyle Sequeira also for joining us. So
That's awesome. Well,
what was it? Sorry, just jump in there. Spider, was 7 p.m. Eastern on Fridays, right? I can put that to some of the guys. Hopefully, we can get a few other guys to come in and join and meet some of our great fans, mate.
We were on till like midnight last night, so.
Awesome, mate. That's good stuff.
Yes, but thank you for joining us. It's truly an honor. I mean, you guys are great.
Thanks, mate.
And we're honored that you're joining us tonight. You are the life and soul of who we are. We wouldn't be here without our fans, the founding members, and those who really just live for the sport and believe in us and cheer for us when we're at home, when we're away. And we just can't wait for 2021 to start and really get back out there with all of you.
Yeah, guys,
I can't wait either. Thank you. Thank you for putting all this out there. Otherwise, we'd be sitting here like, all right, I'd be wearing this and just be like, listen to it on the radio or something.
What are you going to
do? Yeah. So, thank you for the coverage, for the Zoom calls and everything. It's great.
Here's Spider.
Awesome.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, sir.
I'm just one dude. And there's like a whole bunch of other dudes who are like, not as, wearing a hat and stuff, or, as boisterous about it as I am. But they're out there. They're out there.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for joining us, Todd. We're gonna get over to a few more questions now. We'll check in with you
Awesome.
again, and thank you so much for jumping.
I'll be here all
night. Dressing up.
Thanks, Spider.
I wear this every day. I go to work. They're like, hey,
go Free Jack.
Go Free Jacks, baby. Woo.
Awesome. I'd love to be able to, Zach, as well. Huge celebration for us tonight. We have a few more questions that are coming in. Would love to kick those over to either Alex or some of the players. And then, anything else that comes through, and we can make sure that we hit those questions.
Sure. We've got a question from Gregory Owens, and I believe this is more focused towards Mags or TK. But the question is, what are typical salary totals for an MLR team and the individuals?
Yeah, so the salary cap is, in terms of compensation dollars, is $500,000 across the league for each team. The maximum any one player could get for being a player in the league for the season is $45,000. But if you do the numbers pretty quickly, if you have a team where you're going to end up using 45 plus players over a season, 16 plus games and 18 weeks thereabouts, the average is probably closer to 15,000 for the season across the board. So a lot of guys have to work really hard to do other things, and that's the nature of where we are right now as a business. As we continue to grow and generate revenue, obviously that will change in time, but it's a way for us to make sure that we can get to that growth where 98-99% of the professional sports teams that have started, they chase high salaries at the beginning, and that competition happens, and then suddenly this feedback loop happens, and no longer the revenue can even chase the cost of sustaining it, and it's a quick death, unfortunately. So I think the league has structured itself very well for long-term growth, and that's really, really important. So it's $500,000 right now, and then there's obviously a lot of other expenses on top of that to ensure that that playing group is in a healthy position to play and everything else.
Nice. Well, thanks very much, Max. And then we're going to follow up. And it seems that we have Dartmouth coach and also the New England Free Jacks help. One of my look at the mustache on the guy, Jimmy Willix. Can I get you to unmute yourself? I'd love to ask you this last question here.
Far away, mate. Far away.
All right, we have a question, James, from Ross Parlin. First of all, before we get to the questions, just want to say congratulations. You know, having a player of yours getting drafted in the first MLR draft, that's got to be fantastic for you as a coach.
It's great. It's awesome. Very happy for Mason. Very happy for him. So it's a reflection of the hard work that he's put in over the last 4 years.
Well, congratulations to that. You know, again, congratulations to Mason. Let's get into this last question here because you were a part of the team a lot last year, more of a remote role. So Ross Parlin has a question for you here. What do you think was the missing piece last season?
It's a good question. It's a really good question. And we've gone through a pretty heavy post-mortem, if you will, to figure out where we went wrong. And the numbers are interesting. And I think there's two things we need to improve on. One is defense to a set piece. You start to solve those things and we're in a much better place. Statistically speaking, we scored more tries, I believe, than any second highest tries and second highest point score.
First tries.
There you go, first tries. And as we all know,
highest in penalties. It was
exactly. Yeah. So the good and the bad.
Yeah.
It's a small sample size, right? It's an N of 5 games, which were all road games. So it is tough to make sort of concrete conclusions, if you will, from that. But the reality is we need to do a better job at set piece and we need to do a better job on defense. And as a staff, that comes down to us making sure we provide a better environment. So I think that's sort of one of the big work-ons is making sure the staff collectively provide an environment that we can all get better in.
Nice. Thanks for that. Excited for the challenge, excited to challenge the coaching staff next year, excited to challenge the players and the leadership. And again, just like Spider was saying, just pumped up to get the boys back around it. You know, I speak on behalf of the team. When the fans like Spider, they get behind the team, they're energy for us. They lift us up, they get us ready for it. And that means a lot. So thanks to all the fans that tuned in. Thanks to all the fans that support. You guys keep us going. You guys, you keep us focused and you make us feel, for those that are moving from a different area to Boston, we appreciate the fact that you make that new city feel like home to us. And you make it feel like an environment that, that we've grown up our whole lives in. So again, the fans appreciate you so much.
Well said.
Awesome. Again, I just want to say thank you so much to our sponsors, Baxter for Staycationland, beer that has kept us hydrated and delicious, of course, and of course, Kings Row cold brew coffee. We are waiting for the rundown of who won the guests to our first round and second round picks. I know that the second round goes to Braxton. Braxton, if you're still listening, why don't you send us a message on Instagram, let us know, just a little hand raise, let us know it's you, and we will get your hat over to you. So thank you so much for hitting that. And then first round, let's see, Ali TK, who hit that pick right head on? I'm not sure if I don't have that, but I can have a look.
Bill Baker, I think, had that guess spot on.
Baker,
Right in the
first round pick. Thank you. I know we've been tweeting back and forth, and also we'll get you that jersey ready for 2021. So thank you all so much for joining us. Again, I think is it right, Ali? We still have that flash sale going on with FJ Draft.
Absolutely. Head over
Fantastic.
to shop.freejacks.com.
And also, we have some new pieces hitting the store coming up soon. So some great cotton jerseys. We have zip-up hoodies. We have some really, really cool items hitting the store. So that one right there, exactly. Looking forward to a bit of a throwback and can't wait for you to check it out. But again, FJ Draft, whatever you prefer. Exactly, that'll get you 20% of all merchandise through midnight tonight. So check it out and let us know what you think. Again, we are on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you may be, wherever you look at social, scroll through while you're sitting on the couch with some extra time on your hands. NE Free Jacks. Looking forward to what's coming up next. This is not the last time that you'll hear from us, and we're really excited to get into preparation. And any parting words, Zach?
Just want to reiterate what you're saying. Just a big thank you to everybody out there who stuck with us through this previous kind of change of events in terms of not even getting a home match, the season kind of getting kicked off the way it did, and then the way it finished. The support that you guys have shown us as players has been fantastic, and there's nothing but love and appreciation towards that. Challenge to the players out there that are on this call and those that'll get to this, guys, we've got a big step to make here in the next season. We've got a lot to prove, but we've got great leadership in front of us. And you know what, I'm excited. We've got Justin and Spencer jumping on board, excited to get those guys involved with us. And it's going to be big things, but it starts tomorrow, start of the day, and let's get it going. And we're working towards 2021. And again, guys, thanks so much for what you've been doing for us. Our sponsors, the staff, admin, our fans, you guys are incredible. And without you guys doing what you do, we wouldn't have the opportunity that we have today. So again, guys, thank you so much. Hope to see you out next year. And
I love it. And wait, hold on. Let's see. Zach, can you lead us in a Let's Ride? You think we can get that with everyone on camera, on screen?
Ooh, players, I'm going to ask you guys to unmute yourselves. Lads, I'm going to get you to unmute yourselves. Uncle Tony on. I don't think I've ever seen anybody more apt to get a Let's Ride going than Tony Perps.
Oh,
let's go. Oh, yes.
There we go. Oh, you know it. Hey, actually, my nephew Rocco's going to join me. Rock, you want to join me? Come on, bud. All right, here we go. You ready?
Okay,
You ready to help me out? Everyone's watching. All right. Free Jacks, mount up.
Let's ride.
No, we're going to do that again. Let's get started. We're going to do that again.
Timing's not right.
You ready?
All right, one more time. You ready? With me, Rock. Free Jacks, mount up.
Let's ride.
Good job,
Awesome stuff.
Thank you, Zach.
Young Free Jack fan.
Great job. Thank you, Ollie. Great job, TK James. Great job, Free Jacks.
Thank you, everybody.
Loved it, guys.
Appreciate
Hey, Spider, awesome stuff.
Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it. You guys are awesome.
Love your support.
Well
I mean, you guys, I love it. And the accessibility of you guys is, unprecedented to have with professional athletes, So I'm like, wow, I want to Zoom with all these guys, the whole team and the owner. It's like, wow.
Great,
So
man.
thank you. Thank you.
Because you're a
all.
big deal, Spider.
No, I'm just a nail banger who loves rugby. What can I say?
Awesome.
Appreciate you,
What
buddy.
can I say, man?
Bro.
So, yeah. So we still staying on all night or what? We're just gonna say.
Hey,
let's
get out of here. The party stops, right?
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you very
All right.
much.
You.
Thanks, guys.
I'll
Cheers.
just sit here till you kick me out.
See you, lads.
All right. Thank you.
Later, boys. Take it easy.
Right on. Excellent. Thank you.